Welcome to Business Influencers. I'm your host, Chris Salem. Hope everyone is having a great week. We are so excited to have you here if you are new to the show. And if you've been with us now for quite some time, we want to welcome you as always. And we are committed each and every week bringing in subject matter experts to help elevate you and your level of influence to the next level. So again, if you are new to our show, we feel free to check us out not only on TALRadio.org, but also on YouTube, where we have our video portion of the show and audio portion of our show on Spotify as well as Apple. Feel free to subscribe there and check out many of the great other shows that are on the TALRadio.org platform. Our show today is being brought to you today by Alumni Direct. Alumni Direct is a new social media community platform dedicated to bringing alumni together from all different generational types and an opportunity to meet new people for the first time. Now, it is a membership program taking out all the noise out of social media. You get to come in and generate genuine and authentic relationships with the people you choose to interact with. And again, it offers a wide array of different services not available to the general public, specific to your professional and personal development. So check them out at alumnidirect.com. That's alumnidirect.com. Well, we got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking about, with sobriety, anything is possible. Now, if anybody of you know me, I can relate to this 100%. I've been sober since February of 1998. It's been some quite time. Same with the gentleman you're going to be hearing from. We're going to be talking with Todd Crandell about this particular topic, and a little bit about Todd. He is the original Sober Triathlete, Racing for Recovery. He's a renowned international speaker. He's an Ironman triathlon finisher. He's been sober himself since April 15th of 1993, and he is a 5-time author. He's also produced documentaries and also been featured on ESPN, BBC, and CNN. Now, I could keep going on, but without further ado, we welcome Todd Crandell to the show. Todd, how you doing today?
I'm really good, Chris. And I'm right away, as soon as you said you've been sober, 98, I think it was, I'm like, there's the connection again.
There's the connection.
Right? It never fails to deliver these connections. They're, I don't want to get all weird, but that's God or whatever you
Absolutely.
want to call it. Right? Yeah, man.
Absolutely. One day at a time, as they say, right?
Yeah.
Well, Todd, we always like to start the show, when we get into the topic, that you're going to talk about, with sobriety, anything is possible. A little bit of background about maybe your journey up to this point and, and where you are, today, just really being the example and being a resource for anybody that you come in contact with, that anything is possible when we can be sober. And sober is just not being, not drinking or not using drugs or not overeating. It's also that, what we've done with our mindset, and we've freed ourselves from those demons and self-limiting beliefs that we're the catalyst for a lot of the things that I guess, you did and I did that led up to that point. So we'd love to hear your story and inspiration that you could share with the audience.
Well, you used some great words in there. Mindset was one of them. And I can already feel it. When I start talking, I'm either going to raise some eyebrows of some questions like, what is that? Or I can't believe that guy said that. Or somebody may go, wow, I haven't heard anybody say that.
Well, please fire away. There's no, you can share whatever you like.
Well, so here we go. You mentioned this, like what sobriety is, what it isn't. I don't think addiction is a disease. I think it's a choice. I'm a big advocate in the power of choice. And before we lose anybody that wants to hang up or tune out already, just give me a minute.
I agree. We're on the same page because I've had the similar things where sometimes I spoke on this at an AA meeting back in 2004. After 6 years being sober, and I had a guy cuss me out and tell me to go F myself. Yeah. And then only 2 weeks later, called me on the phone to apologize because I shared something that he wasn't ready to hear, but he had to hear. And we've been friends ever since. And so Please do not hold back.
Good. This is going to be good. So, you were asking me about my background. Well, here's where addiction started for me. My mom killed herself when I was 3 from her uncle killed himself from his drug addiction. My aunt killed herself from a food addiction. So if you have 4 kids in one family and 3 of them commit suicide, the logical question would be, what is going on in that household that led to 3 innocent, caring people commit suicide? That to me is where addiction starts. That's trauma.
Yes.
And everybody's trauma is different. Nobody's is worse than anybody else. Trauma is trauma.
Yes.
When you have people that end up like we did, drug rehabs, food rehabs, whatever, we have to ask the question, what happened? It's not about hearing your drunkalog of how many cars you crashed and how much coke you did. It's the emotional pain that people are going through because of unresolved trauma that we use self-destructive coping mechanisms to deal with it. That's addiction.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you sounds like you were that.
Absolutely.
Right. And I'm a licensed clinical counselor and I have a master's degree in this stuff. Plus I felt it. I wanted to, from the pain and agony that I felt emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, sometimes physically, I wanted to understand it. I wanted to heal from it. And then I wanted to be an example of, with sobriety, anything is possible. And that's what I've been doing for a long time.
I love it. I love it. And, there are people that are, that listen to this show that some of them, could be right now struggling with an addiction, or maybe they don't think they have an addiction, but yet they're making choices in whatever level. Maybe they're not eating right, or they're not exercising, or maybe perhaps now realizing they're drinking a little bit too much, more than usual, and they're not where they want to be. There's no harmony in their work, in their life, and so they're looking now, for maybe some direction, possibly. And that's my hope, that when people are listening to this show, that something clicks. If you could share something from, when your journey, your process, that can, maybe, help people to recognize, again, these things don't happen overnight. It happens over a period of time. So it's always that famous AA thing, one day at a time, right? Because it is one day at a time. We only have this moment right now. If you could share, I feel that would really help the audience here.
Well, I remember I started drinking at the age of 13. I knew when I made my first choice to take a drink, I knew it was wrong. I knew it wasn't right. And I knew things probably weren't going to be that good if I kept doing it, but it just took off from there. The second, it was a entire bottle of Jack Daniels. So that shows I qualify as, drunk or whatever. But to answer your question directly, it was probably 6 or 7 years later where I found myself living in my car down in Florida this day that year by myself. And I thought, wait a minute. What happened? I didn't plan on being here. I didn't want to be here, but I am here. And that's when I started realizing this really isn't working for me. And then it took another 7 years of trying to find the right concoction to drink or snort or smoke where I wouldn't have a problem, which never works. And then I got my third and final drunk driving charge on April 15th. And that was the catalyst for me to finally make a choice to put it down and then start to rebuild my life. But to answer your question, it was when Christmas Day that year was kind of when I was asking myself some questions and had to give myself the honest answer. And the honest answer was, I put myself in my car. Nobody. I chose it, and these are the consequences of those choices. That's why I can't do I'm powerless, I relapsed, I slipped. It's like, no, you didn't. We were making cognizant decisions that led to circumstances that now we either learn from them or we keep adding to those circumstances.
I agree. Some people might say, well, I can't, I couldn't control it. I had no power to choose otherwise. Well, everything is a choice, right? Nothing is easy. Like, hey, if I know going to the gym is going to get me into good shape, I know I got to go on a regular basis. And sometimes I'm going to wake up and go, you know what? God, it's raining out or it's snowing out. I just don't want to go today. Now I can make that choice and not go, or my brain could say, don't go, but my feet hit the ground and I'm going to use discipline and consistency and do it anyway.
Great words. Discipline. Love them. I just did my 125th Ironman in Luxembourg on Sunday.
Wow.
And
what a beautiful country to do it in.
Oh my God. Amazing, right? And once again, I'm thinking to myself, I mean, it hurts, right? It's, those things are not easy.
Yeah.
But there's a reward from doing the work. And that's why I love doing those Ironmans. Yes, I use them to promote Racing for Recovery. Yes, I get to travel, but I love the personal challenge of saying, what do you have today? Not what you did yesterday. What do you have today? And what adversities am I going to have to overcome again to reach the goal? And that is applicable to the mindset of sustaining sobriety. People die. You could lose your job. You could lose your home, which if you read some of my books, I've lost everything to keep Racing for Recovery going. But that's what sobriety is. Sobriety is a opportunity every day to make cognizant choices to overcome life's hardships and to continuously thrive and then be of service to other people.
I love it. And it sounds like, this could equate to a lot of things too, like people that might be maybe struggling in their career, struggling in getting their business off the ground. And this was like how I was 27 years ago now. Like every time when something wasn't going right, I always blamed it on somebody else. It was somebody else's fault. It was the economy's fault. It was this industry's fault that I was in. It didn't matter. But when you realize that there are things that you can control and there are things that you can't control. And the only thing I can control is me. I can control my communication to myself and others, my behavior, my attitude. It's happening for me, not to me. My emotions, how I respond, not react to situations and people, and my level of action. I can't control those same 5 things in any other person or situations. So with that, like you said, you've made a choice. You made a choice now to do something that wasn't easy to do, easy to probably give up on, and yet you did it. And this is why you've done so many triathlons, why you've accomplished so many things. And was it easy? No. There was probably days you woke up and you said, why am I doing this? I can't do that. And you did it anyway. But these are the things that get us where we are and where we desire to be. They just don't fall in our lap and it's just an easy ride. It's a process. It's a challenge, and challenges are necessary to get to the results we seek. And I'd love to get your feedback on that.
Well, yeah. I struggle with this still. I don't like promoting my books, but
yeah. Please do. We want to hear about your books too at the end, believe me, or even now.
Yeah. And I've written 6 of them since, I don't know, for over 15 years or whatever. And my point is this. Everything that you're saying right there was starting a business. I started Racing for Recovery in 2001. I went back to school and got a master's degree. The Ironman stuff, the sustaining sobriety, being a plant, all these things, they all start with a cognizant choice of, I want to do ... Then comes discipline, as we talked about, each and every day to overcome whatever happens to us. Your kid's sick and you have to exam because you'll fail the class if you don't go. Get a babysitter and go to school and pass the test. So, and if you take that same mindset when we were drinking, we find a way to get drunk no matter what. And that has to be applied to the lifestyle of sustaining sobriety, educationally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. And this again is what sobriety is. It's not collecting a bunch of coins and talking about how drunk we got, Exactly.
It's about, like you said, it's now moving forward. It's like, moving forward in your sobriety, not just free from drink, free from the actual, whatever the the choice of the drug of choice, or whether it was a drug, an alcohol, food, gambling, sex, any combination there, it doesn't matter. It was really, again, that am I conquering my anger? See, my addiction was anger. That's how I lived my life, was through anger. And I just medicated the anger with alcohol or drugs or sex or any combination thereof. But it was getting through the anger and learning how to live a life of harmony and peace. And that took time. And then all the things that, fell into place through that process and that consistency of going through it, it was just all a byproduct of that.
Chris, I don't want to turn this into you being on my podcast.
No, I wanted to tell you that I relate to you at 100%. And this is spot on what you're sharing.
Well, I have a quote. I expect you to get into details, but it's validating what we're talking about. When you said you had an anger issue, well, anger to me is a result of pain.
Oh, yeah.
Right? We're back to trauma that hurts us, that comes out in anger that then we're drinking over. And that's what I want people to understand. And again, this is something that evolves over time. And when you really can look at this and go, well, yeah, I had an anger problem that is based on some stuff that happened to me or I saw or whatever, and I need some help to understand that and cope with it effectively. Then you're off to the races of living the life that you've earned today, right? You earned to have your show and do what you're doing. No one gave you that. You worked at it.
Yeah, exactly. And no, it's so true, Todd. And I would love to, share, what do you feel like? Everyone can have a different process. And it doesn't mean there's one process that's going to lead people. What would be something, like, if you had to just, standardize it in a way to explain it or share, that could help somebody to say, hey, this is not easy, but if you want better results, you want to feel a certain way, you want a better way of living, this is a thing that maybe, you're going to have to either let go of and now adopt, that can steer you in the right direction. And again, it's going to be different for different people, but something along the lines that it could apply to everyone. I'd love to hear you share. Change
your mindset. If you say you can't, you won't, right? If you say, I can, I don't know how to, but I'm willing to learn, you will. And it's changing the mindset. We are not powerless. We are not hopeless. I can't stand this one either. You don't have to hit a rock bottom. Create a new beginning now.
Yeah.
That's a choice, right? It's not, well, I got to keep drinking until I hit rock bottom. What if you kill somebody? What if you die? Do you actually need that to make a change? You don't. If you want to make the change, make the cognizant choice to create something new today. And it starts with a simple mindset. I'm done self-destructing.
Yeah.
And that's what we both did the day we quit drinking.
Yeah.
And every day after is where discipline, perseverance, all these powerful words that people who are drinking don't have. But we then in sobriety, we get to create and bring that stuff out. And I love it. That's what I want people to know.
Exactly. And I so agree. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and lie and say that I didn't have urges. I had, believe me, urges. And, because that's what I knew, how to escape the anger or medicate the anger from the pain. But see, all I was doing is managing the pain. I wasn't addressing the root cause to it. And that root cause, I had to do a deep dive through discipline and consistency. And that all will tie back to my father, that lack of validation and that lack of connection with my father. And until I was able to come to peace with that and let that go. And my father died when he was 56. It's been right around the time I got sober. It was freeing. It was and then I never looked back. It was, over a 3-year process, but nonetheless, all well worth it.
I hear you. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. So you were asking me again about, I keep thinking of the guy right now or girl who's watching us right now, who's hungover, or they could be actively drinking. And just hearing a word that can, in their mind, ignite the fire.
Yeah.
They put it down, because literally that's what can happen. When you hear it in the rooms all the time, miracles, and you can create your own miracle. You are a miracle.
You are already a miracle. You create your
Right.
own luck. It's just now changing your environment or change your set of people you're hanging around with. And you keep going back to a place where, that was knocking you down. That's what's going to happen. I know some people would say, well, what if you grow up in a very bad area or you're on the street? Okay, I get it. But you could still make a choice on some level. You could, find a shelter or find something to at least point you in the right direction, whatever that may be.
There is help everywhere. I mean, again, with Racing for Free, we have housing for people. We feed people plant-based nutrition every day. They need nothing. It's not about money when you come into sobriety. It's investing in self. So we love it. Our gyms have been open since 6 o'clock. Our plant-based chef is making food right now for everybody to eat. And then we start our IOP groups at 9 this morning. And it's just like a lifestyle this is a never ending journey of self-betterment. And it's a lifestyle. It's a sober, healthy lifestyle it brings rewards. It brings self-compassion. It brings empathy and humility and gratitude. It doesn't bring jail, puking every day, arrests and all that. It's the antithesis of all that stuff.
No, it's great, Todd. I love what you're sharing here, and so genuine, so authentic. And anything else that you feel like with people listening, no matter where they're relating to what you're sharing here today, because sobriety isn't just about not drinking anymore or not using drugs. It's just changing, like you said, like how we think and how we look at things now differently. And that's going to be hopefully the wake up call for somebody that's listening to this episode from you that could be like, oh, I got to do something different here. And who knows, maybe they have to maybe do something that you did, and what got you on the right track. It might be somebody might do something else, but nonetheless, it's going to take them in the right direction. Anything else you'd love to share about that would be really helpful.
Yeah, I want to share this. You are of value. God, I can find myself leaning into the camera right now. I know we're of value. I didn't, but everybody is of value. Just please find the courage to raise your hand and ask for help. Ask for help. It is out there. Help is available. If it's not at Racing for Recovery, go to there isn't any place like us, but I'm saying get help. Get help for what is bothering you. And people already know what's wrong. They know why they're drunk right now. You need to get help for that. Without that, it's trying to build a 3-story house without the first and second floor. It's not going to work. The foundation of a life that you deserve to live and can live is healing pain. Once that starts to happen, then you can start building that metaphorical house that you never thought you could live in. You can not only own your own one, maybe you own an apartment complex doing the same thing for other people, but please just get some help because you're of value.
Love it. I love the thing that, you are of value. We all are. And it's going to be your transformation that's going to be the inspiration for somebody else that's going through something that you did at the time. And it's the gift that keeps on giving. I always say that, you got to show up every day to be the example. And that's how we learn the best. We don't learn from being told what to do, how to do it, when to do it, why to do it. It's always by someone's example and observing them through how they communicate to other people, their behavior, their attitude, emotions, and action. Love it, Todd. As we get near the end of the show, I wish we had more time to dive even more. And we'll have you back on another show to do a round 2 of this, or even, go into another area that you would love to cover. But any final thoughts before we conclude? And because I want to let people know where to find you, what you're up to, anything you like to provide them. But just any one more final thought to kind of really sum up this topic today for everyone.
We started off with sobriety, anything is possible. And all I've tried to be for over 32 years is an example of what one person can do. I'm not here to tell you what to do. As a clinician, I'll ask you what you want to do. I'll ask you why you haven't done it. So I ask a lot of questions. provide resources and information and maybe some clinical words that may make a difference. And then you get the opportunity to do the work to get what you deserve. So that's my message is people can and do recover. Life that you have desired that you have not achieved yet is possible to experience. You know, if I could go from what we've talked about, both of us, if we can go from where we were to where we are, anybody else can. This is not some special club that only the cool kids get into.
Exactly.
Right? It's open for everyone. I'm not going to do it for you. You're not going to do it for anybody else. They're going to work their butts off to get it and earn it for themselves, and they're going to feel great about it.
Well, Todd, thank you so much for taking time to be with us here today out of your busy schedule to share your personal journey and insights to really help the listeners here on Business Influencers.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And I love to let the audience know how can they find you? What are you up to? Anything you'd like to provide them? And that can include any of all your books.
Sober Ultraman is my handle on Instagram. I'll answer every question that comes to me there. racingforrecovery.org, toddcrandell.com. The books and movies are on Amazon. Plenty of resources. Racing for Recovery has a live for everybody Thursday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Tune into that on YouTube. We're here to help. So take advantage of us. Utilize us.
Thank you. And we'll make sure to include a lot of that, all the information Todd shared in the show notes as well. And you could also reach out to us and we can connect you with Todd as well here at Business Influencers. We want to thank you listeners for joining us again for another great episode. Again, we are committed each and every week bringing in subject matter experts like Todd in to share their words of wisdom and insights to help elevate you and your level of influence to the next level. Till then, everybody, have a great rest of your week and we'll see you next week at the same time. Take care.